right, well, through all the skip, I think we're just about ready here.
Sorry, I'm gone.
Go or no go for liftoff.
Let me make sure 7 things are correct, and I'll be right back.
Okie dokie, 10-4.
Okay, wrecking ball showing up live, man. Take it. On man 42 Horn Island. I got 100 top.
All right, the live stream is up. Old2radio.net
Okay,
is up.
wrecking ball, man.
Let's see if we get to the
bad
jump.
habit out there. We're doing the raindrops. On man 42 Horn Islands. And back it out.
Well, this is going to be fun, at least for the first half hour. Let's see what happens.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
You know, sometimes getting the old tube radio network started up is like trying to fire up your old radio that hasn't taken a transmission or an old car. It just takes a while. It takes a while to get all the buttons and the knobs and the gears in space, and I think we have actually done that here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, my name is Dennis. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. I will play the net control guy, host, operator, whatever it is tonight, and you will play the shortwave listeners, Old Tube Radio operators, whether you are on Channel 11, which is where we are at tonight, 27085, or perhaps over at oldtuberadio.net, or maybe even on the video site. Hello to those on the video at the YouTube stream. I think that's where it's at. It's on one of those things on your phone or your computer somewhere. Thanks for joining us. An item of interest called the Old Tube Radio Network that we have been doing, the last 35, 36, 37 years on Saturday evenings when we can. Most Saturday evenings talking with and firing up those classic tube radios created for the Class D Citizen Radios service of 1958 to about 1978 is when the tube radios were made, but they are still alive and well, thanks to you, and we will be hearing them tonight after the roll call. What else is happening? I'm not sure. We'll find out. Got Easter coming up tomorrow, so a lot of people are out and about, might be away from the microphonium. If you're watching the replay at some time, hello, and we've probably got you checked in or somebody proxied you in. So first off, let me say hello all, and I've got a couple early check-ins. Anybody else need an early check-in here for OTR, or you're trying to get through the skip?
Yeah, break her out. Yeah, Dennis, I'd like to get an early check-in there.
Okay, that is 53.
Yes, sir, 53, Bel Air, yeah. Have a happy Easter, everybody in the net there, 10-4.
All right, very good. We got SWL 53. Thank you, Bob. And also we get 61, Dean, who I could hear pretty good tonight, 650 as well. Anybody else need an early check-in over the air here?
45.
Hey, 45. Hello, Paul. I know the skip is bad, so let me get you checked in now, and if things calm down, we will get you on the list and some radios as well. Over.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, we'll continue through. Let me grab the item of interest. Our current 00 is actually the guy that came up with this idea, really, with his 9 pounds good modulation way back when he said, you know what, there's got to be a way for us to get on the air, get our tube radios out and about and not bother anybody. And so down to Channel 11 we went on the Regency Imperials and the General Radio Telephones and the Browning Golden Eagles and the Lafayettes and the Demcos and the Sonars and the Metro Techs and the Lafayettes, and here we are in the 21st century, April 16th, 2022, still doing it. All right, 00 is checked in. We get a cosmic check-in for SWL number 1. He was right there with Mr. OBP saying, yeah, let's do this. And Kevin, I got you checked in. What is going on with the sun? The sunspot numbers have been way down. The A index has been way up. As you can hear, strange things still abound on the higher frequencies. Sometimes we have a CME and everything goes out for a couple of hours, but I know locally we'll do pretty good tonight. Looking for SWL3, SWL4, SWL5, shortwave listener number 6, SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
All right, got to make sure I get the right box here. I'm checking people in for the wrong week. All right, I think I'm on the right page. You are sounding good. If Skipland takes you out, we're in trouble, but they're not doing that.
All right. Well, thanks for checking me in.
Let's head over to, boy, my audio is up super loud tonight. Let's see, SWL10. I'm going to scroll. A lot of people online tonight. Let me see who is out and about. Chrissy is in, saying hello, radio from Idaho, listening in. I'm thinking, unless you're in Hawaii or Australia, I may not be able to hear you on the DX tonight, but don't give up. Keep listening in on 27085. That's channel 11. See if we can hear you or you can hear us. Over to SWL 13, we've got the other check-ins over to oldtuberadio.net. So give a try over there. If not, head on over to click on the link and go over to the YouTube page. That is the way to do it. No need to sign up or join a club or special handshake. Wear a funny hat. Just show up and tell us where you're at, what radios you were running this week. Maybe you do a get on the air radio thing where you are. We'd definitely like to hear about it. I'm going to get Mr. Cobra, Michael, checked in. He's out there somewhere. The Echo link is up tonight for those of you who'd like to do a quick check-in. If you can't hear me direct, always a good way to do that. Over to SWL 14. SWL 16. Charlie was in. He was in early. Charlie let me in the building so that I could get everything hooked up. Maybe not correctly, but get things hooked up. So thanks Charlie for that. We're looking good so far. I haven't broken anything. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. I'm going to get a check-in for Mikey from Facebook. I think they let him out of Facebook jail. And he actually was able to check in. SWL 19 from Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine. Chet he's got me prepared tonight. He brought in, just in case, this is sort of the lap thing. So if Charlie Alpha Tango comes up tonight, there will be some place for him to sit that should be comfortable. It won't be comfortable for me, but I don't see him. I know he's around here. He may, that's what, how cats are. You do something special for them, and they are not going to show up. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it gets 2 paws up. Let's go over to SWL 20. I think Harvey said I might have to proxy him in, which I will do. But he might show up later tonight. We'll put the big X in the square. Who's out and about tonight up in the balcony? The unknown SWL under that bag and the rubber ducky. Dallas, Georgia, coming to you. The boys up in Squamish, as always, go up and pay them a visit. Grab some popcorn, the barbecue. Head on down to the Green Room, Louisville, Kentucky. Hello to San Francisco, Auberry, Scotts Valley. What a nice place that is. Inez, Kentucky. Woodland Park, Colorado, with the beams headed this way. Fresno Fish Camp and the rest. It's like Gilligan's Island. We've got the Marianne, the professor, and the rest all here. The mini grass is in SWL 21 JT tonight on the old radio night, looking good with the Tram. What was it? The Titan? Was it the Titan 2? Yeah, Tram Titan 2. Let me see if I can get some audio and video for that. All right, there is the Tram
I appreciate
Titan 2 tonight. Oops. And there's the audio.
I know that hey, he heard you there for sure, and I know he appreciates it.
Good one, roundabout.
And picking up some audio.
Roundabout.
Roundabout.
Want me to do it a second time?
Yeah, okay. Roundabout was in, and he's sort of like the CB radio bard, like Pete Seeger, or Donovan, Bob Dylan. Here we go.
4,
Oh, we got the countdown. Listen to this from Old Radio Night tonight.
1. Old Tube Radio Network says Eastern. Radio Network is here to celebrate. So come and join Dennis. He's the host for the show. It's Easter time tonight on Old Tube Radio.
Well, there you go. Roundabout, the 11-meter CB radio bard with an official song for the Old Tube Radio Network.
Dennis, we love you out there and we look forward to seeing you tonight at 11 o'clock EST.
Yeah, make sure everybody checks out Old Tube Radio Network.
And thank you. Yeah, Old Tube Radio late on the East Coast.
On at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
But here at 8 o'clock,
Pacific Coast Time.
sounding good from the Old Tube Radio Network. And that was emanating from the Tram Titan 2.
But it's got all kinds of radios. You may or
At the radio desk of Mr. DD21JT on Old Radio Night. Thanks, guys, for that. Always enjoy the live performance. And where is it? I've got my... Do you have one? I have my Old Radio Night sticker. And we're going to do some old radios tonight as well here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, 21, for checking in. Let me get my control room back here. Over to SWL 22. And I believe the Echo Link link is up tonight. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give the Echo Link a shot tonight to see if we can rouse to 23 Skidoo. See what's happening. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. We'll find out. KB6GFD.
Good evening there, Dennis. Hello to all the SWLs. Apparently the Easter Bunny magic has come around and blessed the Echo Link. It appears to be working just fine tonight. I want to say happy Easter to everyone, happy Passover, and happy Sunday if you're not celebrating any of those other days. We'll catch you next time here on OTR 23 Skidoo, KA3TED.
All right, thanks. Sounding good. Thanks for the check-in. It's sounding good. The link is linked, and we'll grab some others on the Echo Link as we go along. Thanks. KB6GFD. All right, it's working. It's working well. We must have paid the bill. We must have paid the bill on time. Let's see, where are we going? Direct-to-net roll call is where we are at. The shortwave listeners, you don't have to have a number to participate or an Old Tube Radio Network, but if you're out there, give us a call on the chat room or say something to us. Maybe even try a little bit of DX, and we'll pick you up. Looking for SWL 24. Shortwave listener 25.
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in.
Hello, 25. You are sounding good. I missed the net last night. I think I was there on Wednesday, but I was late for that. And you're making it through the skip land tonight here on Channel 11.
Roger, Dennis. Dennis. Anyway, I can hear you tonight. Last week, man, I fired everything up and I just couldn't bring you in. I don't know why. There's too much noise. But anyway, thanks for checking me in, Dennis. Check in 74 too as well. Thank you.
All right, we'll get 74 at the appropriate time. You are sounding good. Thanks for stopping by the Saturday night place to be. I'll go ahead and turn the page. Let's see if Dwayne, SWL 27, is up and running.
27's checking in live from Studio G.
Live from Studio G. Hope there's no leaks. I know there's no leaks. You had a new roof put on not too long ago. So the dry, safe, and sound secure FT8, FT4 approved Studio G. Thanks for checking in.
Roger. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in tonight. Let's head up to Sacramento. I was not very radioactive this week, but I did make a few contacts on 40 meters. Sacramento is a good hop here down into Fresno, our capital, Sacramento, the capital of California. And so a little bit harder to do on 11 meters. Looking for Gary tonight. And let me see. Let me go to the scroll down the big board and see who is around, who needs check-ins. We'll get everybody. Carrot cake, coffee, and 2 radios. That's what's going on over at the QTH of Cornbread. Of course, he's not checking in, but if he did, he would say, make sure you check in your old tube radios tonight. I say, hey, Kenny, I see you. No problem. We'll get you checked in. Paul Williams checking in, 807. Yeah, depending on if you're daylight saving time or not, we are 8 p.m. Pacific daylight time, and California's supposed to, after this, not change anymore, but we'll see what happens with that. Steve is in there, is waiting for 10 p.m. He said that would be 1 o'clock in South Carolina. Good to have you along, Steve. AJM Jazz is back with us tonight, saying hello to everyone on the net from Nashville, Tennessee. And happy Easter and happy Passover. Thank you there, AJM. Bourbon 497 Gypsum saying hello from, is it Owensboro? In the old days, maybe that's not where he's at, but anyway, he's out there in Louisville somewhere. Thanks for joining us in tonight. And some other stations that we will be checking in shortly here on your old tube radio network. Hemorrhoid is in as well. From the coast of South Carolina, KD4BAO, hello, will be coming up to you. Hello to Sean. Says, I'm making the trip to Sanger. I think he might be hearing me direct. Sometimes they can hear me in Sanger. Like Kenny Hall singing those North Sanger blues. Back to the list. Let's try our proxy check-in for SWL 29. I've got an X in the square for Dwayne, SWL 30, who is ready and waiting at the Browning and the Robin T123B. If we should get some E-skip tonight. Greg, S9 Radio, Super Loop said that looking at the chart tonight, it looked like the E-skip could happen. I don't know if it's the rain. We've had some rain up and down the state or what. So he is also listening from Southern California. See if he can get in as well. SWL 31. SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo. I don't know where Bozo Control is, but I will get everybody checked in here at the control point on the old tube radio network. Looking for SWL 34, Jimmy and Little Tube, Jimmy Fielder, who helps us out on the Facebook site at the old tube CB radio network. SWL 35, Mr. Bill checking in from Cheyenne. We're probably sending a bunch of snow your way. It has been cold up on the mountains. We've had rain, and it is heading that way if it isn't there already. Mr. Bill, of course, from Red Monkey Communications. Always enjoy hearing from Bill when he can check in. I suspect we will be hearing from Bill direct on one of his great radios. Over to SWL 36. I'm going to get to Jerry Proxydin from Peoria, Arizona. Let's go closer to home. SWL 37.
37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
Good evening. Got you in on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, and thanks for joining us.
You betcha. Got kind of a weak. I'm not getting a whole lot of modulation right now, but it's working anyway.
I hear you, and you are not getting a whole bunch of modulation, but you know how these radios can be.
Yes, very, very stubborn. Let me see. Hell, all right. Anyway, we're out. Listen, I got to change the microphone.
All right, we'll catch you a little bit later, but we do have you checked in. Let's see. We are looking for Sam. Sam was in from Byron. He was going to try and listen in to see if we get any of the short E-skip or anything like that. S9 Radio Super Loop also in. Saying hello to everybody in the group. Had an E-cloud hanging around that just faded away. I noticed, I saw your post earlier. The E-cloud was in. If you caught the beginning of the net here, we had Australia, a little bit of Hawaii, came right up and then out. So we'll see what happens as the night goes along. But thanks for joining us tonight. And like he said, did hear the mini grass wiki whack sounding good. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Greg he's checking. He's probably in front of the table checking the tubes tonight. Sort of like an Easter egg hunt. He's hunting for that perfect 6BQ5, that perfect 12AX7 to put into the Browning, to put into the Sonar, to put into the Regency Imperial, and he will find them, I'm sure.
All right, Dennis, is that any better?
That appears to have a little bit more audio flavor over.
Okay, I'd switch over to handheld. All right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
All right, doing good. Over to SWL 39. SWL 4785. I see you there, checking in from inside the bow of the USS Sullivan's. Please send down more buckets. Well, hopefully the buckets do not have a hole in there, dear Liza. We will send some more buckets down and maybe some big sponges. They work just as well. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, coming up from the Hudson Valley. Out there in New York, Hudson Valley CB Radio Club, SWL 41, Road Dog 507. I see you, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll have a good Easter Passover for everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Let's go over to SWL 42.
Yeah, let's check in 42 in the gang. He's got his hands inside a Browning right now.
All right, looking for that perfect part, or maybe that imperfect part. I will get KW and the rest of the group checked in at the appropriate time. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Over to SWL 43. I've got a note to get Crazy Eddie checked in. And likewise, I was not on the Ditch Banks net, but 44... 360 was sounding pretty good the other week, and I wasn't sure if he was mobile or base, but I'll get 360 in. From earlier, Paul, you might be able to hear me now if the skip is faded. Hello, 45. All right, that's interesting. Just as you keyed up, here comes the skip again. They must have heard you. I got you checked in. We'll look for some radios if that works out. Over to SWL 46. SWL 47. Shortwave listener 48. SWL 49. I got a note. I'm going to get Smitty and Sweet Country Mama checked in, 49. SWL 50. And speaking of Sangertown, SWL 51, Dave, I saw you on the screen, on the big screen, so we will get you checked in out at Sangertown. Over. And we're going to give this a try. Let me see here. I believe
SWL 52.
All right, yeah, 52 is there. I'm trying to find the right setting here. Hey, you saved me having to key the microphone. SWL 52 from the Golden, I don't know if you use a microphone or a... They got those little tiny microphones on the phones. But I hear you, sir, and you're sounding good over. KB6GFD.
Yep, SWL 52 from the chair on my phone. Good night, Dennis.
All right, thanks for jumping in tonight on the Echo Link. Mr. Aaron sounding good from somewhere, somehow, sometime. KB6GFD 73. SWL 53, Bob Belair checked in earlier. Trying to get through all the skip. So we've got a check-in for SWL 54. How about SWL 55? SWL 56?
Good evening, Dennis and the net. This is SWL 56, just for kicks.
All right, Phil, sounding good. I have not checked. Let me go over to the Google Maps. I think I'm beaconing. Yeah, my beacon is up. I don't see the Running Man. I saw you earlier in the week. So giving the APRS a break. Giving that running guy a break. Got you checked in. Thanks. SWL 57 BDA Brown Dog Audio checking in from Central Kentucky. All right, I've put an X in the square. I'm trying to make sure. For some reason, my boxes are off here. No, they're good. All right. I'm trying to keep myself together. You know, when you're on the radio, nobody sees what happens. But now we've got this video thing that people in the video can see that I'm kind of floundering about here. I think I've got it together. Don't add pictures to radio. 57. I'll get it in order. SWL 57 at the Brown Dog Audio. All right, thanks, Central Kentucky. Let's go over to SWL 58. I got to get 57 officially checked in on the box. There we go. I will get Jeremy checked in as well. I missed the ditch banks last night, but I'm sure we had a report from NCB. Over to SWL 59, who is right out there. Uncle Hairball checking in live from his appearance on Old Radio Night and here. Staying up late with us for the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks. Over to SWL 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it, we missed you last night. I told the fellows on the Friday night checkup that would no longer be checking in Tent Maker. He passed away last Sunday. Anyway, SWL 60, checking in.
All right, thank you, and sorry to hear about Robert. I did not know, so I will update things, and he will definitely be missed. A voice, a long-time voice of Central Valley two-way radio. Thanks for checking me in. I had a very long evening production venue over at the FM radio station, so didn't get back here until 10 o'clock. So we have you checked in tonight, and you are sounding good.
Thank you much, Dennis.
Checked in moments ago. Copenhagen, Dean, sounding good. If you're listening, Dino, we got you checked in. And I believe we're going to go out to an Echo Link up the road and make a left turn at Albuquerque to head up to Bottonero, North Dakota, looking for King Duckford. See if we can get Michael online. K0DUC KB6 GFD, take a transmission. I think he's in there. I'm not hearing any audio, so I will, sometimes Echo Link can be a bit tricky. All right, I got that you were transmitting, but I didn't get any audio. We didn't have any audio. I think you were trying to link up, so point the antenna towards the setting sun and give it another try. Over. Listening here for SWL 62, King Duckford. Okay, nothing heard on the Echo Link. We'll try it. We'll try it again. Sometimes it gets a bit tricky to coordinate the push to talk and make sure you have the right thing selected. But I know you're out there, so we will get you checked in. Over to SWL 63. Was Butterbean on out of North Georgia? Was he on Old Radio Night tonight? Probably. Get 63 checked in. SWL 64. SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. SWL 67. I've got to check in for Bill out of Canby. We will do that. SWL 68. Did I see Michael in there earlier? I thought I did. I thought I saw him in earlier. I will check on that. Now, this station I know I saw in there, Kenny was listening in early tonight from Tulsa. Probably out hiding the Easter eggs, doing all that good stuff, Ferd. All right, so 69. Yeah, let me try. Okay, yeah, KD's saying he's going to try and fix his audio. We'll give him a call in just a little bit to get the Echo Link up. Hello to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's try SWL 70. I think Mark is still hooking up the antennas. So I'll make sure that he is in. Quickie, go ahead. Over.
Yeah, Kenny, I talked to him this morning, 800. Says in regards to all of you. Misses you all dearly.
All right, yeah, he was in earlier listening in. Not sure if he's still connected up on the stream, but thanks for the 5 on that. And it sounds like all is going well to the east, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, this is checking in there, good buddy.
All right, thank you, Joe.
You're welcome, Dennis.
Got to check in for SWL 70. SWL 71, Stan out of Dallas, Georgia, checking in with us tonight just moments ago over at oldtuberadio.net, where I think if you've got a way to link up through your Facebook, you can get on and leave a comment or get yourself checked in. Hello, let's see, up at the balcony joining us tonight, Saginaw, Michigan. Isn't there a song about that? Somebody wrote a song about Saginaw, Michigan, and Greenfield, Ohio. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. We will be talking to and with the operators of some classic tube radios coming up here after the roll call in just moments. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. Got a check-in for Miss Jilly, SWL 74. Shortwave listener 75. SWL 76. From somewhere out there in Fresno tonight, SWL 77. Maybe they both have their hands in the Browning radio tonight. Dennis, if you're listening, I got you checked in. Over to SWL 78. Richard out there in Wild Wildemar. SWL 79. SWL 80. Haven't heard Paul in a while. Hope he's doing okay. And I'm just checking. I'm seeing if they're letting me know. Are they ready over there at the Bob and Steve show? I don't want to go too early if they're not set up and ready to go. They're saying, okay. All right, let's check in with Bob and Steve. See what's going on tonight.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Episode 111. 111 in the seventh frame. Used to get a quarter from when you were keeping score at the bowling alley if the person could get 111 in the seventh frame. Here we are tonight, April 16th, 2022. The Girl Scouts came and helped the Jingle Singers color the eggs. They were out there. I wish I should have brought some in. I think they're eating them. I think they're peeling them and having hard-boiled eggs in the green room tonight. I should have brought some of those colored eggs over. No, that's okay. Jet saying like, no, I'll bring you eggs. No, I don't. They might throw them maybe. So keep the eggs far away. I'll get some pictures, but they are really creative. I will say that. So, Girl Scouts helping color the eggs with the Jingle Singers. The Boy Scouts hid the eggs. That was probably a bad thing to do. Around the pavilion, the Buick and the carport. I know I had to go out and do something on the Buick. I had to take a photo op. And I think I found the wrong way a couple of the eggs tonight. The pool, so yeah, be careful around the carport and the pool for the eggs, because you know they do a good job of hiding those. And some of the ones that you found, those of you who are doing the egg hunt, some of the ones you found may be from last year, so be very, very careful. The putt-putt tournament still going on with some young players. That's good. I'm glad we could promote that a little bit. At the bar tonight from Emery's on Silver Lake. We have some connoisseurs around here. I don't know much more than like Wendy's. And I had soup tonight. That's not much of a connoisseur thing. I had a little bit of soup because I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to get over to the green room. But anyway, at the bar tonight from Emery's on Silver Lake, Everett, Washington, ribeye steak smothered in mushroom gravy, onion straw, I don't know what that is, on French fries, tossed salad, dressing of your choice or not, and coffee and tea are on Bob and Steve. All right, they're They're going easy on us tonight for Easter Sunday. Thanks for that, Bob and Steve. Hot apple cobbler and homemade ice cream. I'm in for that. I could smell the apple cobbler baking earlier, so get some of it while it's still warm and put some of the ice cream over. It'll taste really good if you do that. There are no eggs around the big red limo, so don't even try looking. Have a good week. Enjoy Earth Day coming up on Friday. Enjoy Easter and Passover, and as they say, don't forget to feed the fish.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
The old Tube Radio Network. They were saying give that transmitter a break. That was an old buzzer transmission for sure. I think they were saying there might be smoke coming out of the tubes here. So all right, we'll try and keep things going here. We've got to check in for Mr. Unicorn Steve Areno. Thank you. Over to SWL 82. Hello, Ron. And he is probably out. I'm going to try and get an update on the Ditch Banks sideband net. But I will tell you that if you are around locally and you've got sideband, lower sideband 36, 27,365, head on over to that frequency on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. If you're in the skip zone, give it a try. He's got a good antenna, checking in a lot of Australia, New Zealand on the Ditch Banks sideband net Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Over to SWL 83. SWL 84. I will get Jerry Cheerios Kid and the whole gang checked in. Looking good on the Jefferson Noontime Net on the Swan Radio. Good audio on that. 4K wide, 5K wide. Super duper audio. Got to check in also for the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. Over to SWL 89. SWL 90. And I have a check-in for 90. Like a boss, it says. Let's go to SWL 91. Felix, who was in earlier, helping us check out the video link. And checking in right now. Saying hello to all the SWLs and old tube radio operators. Old tube radio operators. I can smell those tubes warming up. Thanks, Felix. Also, let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93.
Dennis, 93, Louis, next Saturday we'll be making a little quick announcement on Louis and his whereabouts and what's up with him.
Okay, thanks for that. I will make a note here. And as always, thanks for keeping up with people and letting us know what is going on. So we'll look forward to that. Thanks.
Okay.
Over to SWL 95. From beautiful Orlando, Florida. Thank you, 95, put the X in the square. Hope things are going good out there in the land of the fours. Mr. Prune Picker checking in earlier. I think he is somewhere away from the microphone, but Dennis, I did see your post, and we'll get you checked in. SWL 97. I wonder if Jim is by the radio out in Boston tonight. Staying up late, perhaps. Okay, got a note to check in Boston 97, which I will. SWL 98. I missed you last night, Tracy, but you are out there tonight. And what did you said? They had coyotes last night. So I'm assuming that's not on the air. I'm assuming that was out near the antenna somewhere. Yeah, be careful. Coyotes are interesting creatures, but sometimes you gotta be careful because they can be up to mischief as well. And thank you. Got you checked in.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Oh, yeah, this will be 82 checking in from somewhere in Fresno. Shaw and, I don't know, Valentine over by Texas Roadhouse.
Wow, you're putting a good signal. Usually that's a real dead area for where I'm at, so you've got a decent mobile radio. I missed last night. We had a super long thing going on at the radio station. I didn't even get back till after 9:30, so hope all went well on the Ditch Banks sideband net.
Yep, everything went well except for the coyotes in the background there out there by the garage. So, all right, and we got you proxied in. So take care, Dennis.
Okay, yeah, Tracy just said there was coyotes last night. I'm thinking they couldn't have been on the air, but actually they made an appearance on the net. Okay, so hopefully nobody got scared away.
Nope, everybody made it through the night. All cats are accounted for, so yeah, we did a big old bang-up job there. We scared the coyotes away, so all righty. Yeah, they came through the radio, through the audio.
All right, boy, I'm sorry I missed that. That would have been a CB radio first, hearing a live coyote on lower sideband. Glad you got the Charlie Alpha Tangos in the door. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks,
Directed net roll call. The tube radios are coming up shortly. You know what? I think we can try. Let me see if we've got this. I think I can try an Echo link up, and this time we'll be heading out to McClellanville, South Carolina, and see if Tony's around to join us tonight. KD4BAO from KB6GFD.
Good evening, Dennis. This is KD4BAO, Tony from McClellanville, South Carolina. Please check in SWL 100. And back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, Tony, sounding good on the link. We will check you all in there. Hope all is going well in the wee hours of Saturday evening in McClellanville, and thanks for joining us here on the West Coast in the old Tube Radio Network 73, KB6GFD. Tony sounding good from
break
out there in McClellanville. And let's see if we've got the audio coming in from Michael. Take a transmission.
Thank you. I think I got whatever was going on figured out. K0DUC checking in, SWL number 62, and King Duckford on the internet as I'm known. Thanks for hosting me and being patient through my technical difficulties. 2 feet of snow up here in frozen North Dakota, and good to listen in on Tube Radio Night. So without going on too long, KB6GFD, K0DUC.
Perfect transmission. The audio is very good. However you've got it set up right now sounds great. Good fidelity and the right amount of audio gain for the Echo Link. 2 feet of snow. Well, you must have those snowflakes, and I heard somebody say up here in Northern California they were getting snowflakes the size of potato chips. So no doubt yours are at least potato chip size to make that 2 feet of snow. Thanks for joining us on Echo Link. And as always, we will get you checked in 73 KB6GFD. That's one thing here on the valley floor in Central California. Now up in the mountains at 3,000 or 4,000 feet they'll get snow, but here on the valley floor we don't even get 2 inches of snow, let alone 2 feet of snow. So that's when you know you are in trouble, when you got 2 feet of snow. Does the shovel work for that? So thanks to 62, we're jumping in on the Echo Link sounding good. Let's go to SWL 102. And out there in Scranton, Arkansas, John was in earlier over on the video side. So 102, we've got you checked in. Thanks for joining us. SWL 103. SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
All right, like a beacon down here into Midtown, Fresno. Sounding good. Good audio tonight up there in Albury, Crawdad 109. Got you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis, and you and the net have a good Easter.
All right, thanks for that. Missed you guys on the Ditch Banks sideband last night. Levon is in, checking in over on the video side. Rainmaker checking in. Thank you for joining us. Let's go over to SWL 110. All right, I don't recall 110 having that kind of an accent. Let's try from Reedleytown, SWL 111. I saw Robert up on the stream earlier, but I never heard him give it a shout to check in. So I don't know if Reedley is still kind of blocked from where we are or not. But Robert, if you are able to listen in, we will get you with an X in the square. Not a problem. Germantown, Wisconsin, Oakland, California, up in the balcony, joining us tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Going in the Dark coming up. Over to SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114 checking in.
Hello, Wayne. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. We've got you checked in.
Thank you for the check-in.
Looking for heading over to Fairfax, Virginia. I'm not sure what kind of contesting might be going on tonight. Looking for 128. See if John is out there tonight. Don't see him yet. I'll get John proxied in. Over to the other John, SWL 131. SWL, see if we can make it through the skip, Dave. SWL 133. All right, you made it. You made it over Australia, New Zealand, or who's ever coming in there out from West Fresno. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 135.
SWL 135 checking in, and that's coming through. And the Easter Bunny. Happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, that four-legged Easter Bunny with the big paws. Sounding good. And no doubt we'll be looking for you on when we start glowing in the dark here coming up. 135 is in, and John 102 saying they had a Monday evening a tornado. We have these clouds that come in, and sometimes they'll drop a little funnel thing. But I thought today, because we had the warmer weather, we might see some, but we didn't. But obviously, it is a lowercase t if there's ever a tornado. Not anything like you guys get out that way. So hope everything was okay. Said the scrambled Easter eggs in the Radio Shack looks like Dorothy's house. Wow. They landed on the Wicked Witch of the East. Well, I hope you get everything back together. And I'm glad you are here to actually tell us that you are able to go and fix some things. So thanks, John, for the update, and hopefully things will not be in such a calamity. Crash at 350 from Western Pennsylvania tonight, saying Happy Easter, everyone. Thanks, Ralph. And, of course, Captain Robert doing a good thing out there in Nevada. Hope you're feeling okay, Captain Robert. And let's go over to those who are playing the home game over to page 2. And we got a proxy in earlier, but live and direct. Where's the train whistle? This is way over here. I have not been practicing. I must say I have not been practicing on the item here. But let's give Jimmy and Little Toot a blast on the less than stellar train whistle. Yeah, I don't have my, whoa. That just throws the compressors out the window. I need to move back about 10 feet. So thanks, Jimmy, for staying up late tonight. And that is the best we can do on the whistle. SWL34. Let me find your number and I will get you checked in here. We've got to check in for the Phantom. SWL 137. AJ is checked in. Let's head up to Course Gold. I know it's going to be kind of rough if you're out there, Tony, because we do have some skip coming in. But hello, 145, over. All right, I don't think that's Tony. I missed the Friday night net, Friday morning net too. That's the one that Tony hosts. But I did get the question, so I know he was out there. He might be away from the radio. Over to SWL 147. Neil is in the house tonight. Kakalaki is checking in. The radio was quiet today. It was up on the upper frequencies. We're still getting some of that high A index. Exceptional spring weather. Well, good you're enjoying the weather. Got to pull the plug, playing Easter Sunrise at 6 a.m. I was just about to ask if you were going to be involved in some event. So thanks for joining us early, and hope all goes well on the performance. 73 and happy Easter from Neil out there in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Speaking of Skipland, Bobby's probably having to point the beam right at us to keep out. They point the back door out to Australia and New Zealand. Over to SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. Hope everybody has a great Easter Sunday. Yes, Dennis, I have a beam looking at you. I had hippopotamus, a couple of other ones trying to ease up into my radio.
Yeah, well, I'd say with that antenna, they might still come through the back door, but thanks for jumping this way and saying hello, radio, to the Old Tube Radio Network. Got you checked in.
10-4, thank you.
All right, some distorted audio there. Where are we going? Going up to Course Gold. Before that, I want to say I wish a very old tube radio. We take the big cake and place all the tubes around it, and then fire up the 6 and 12 volts, and it's a pretty thing, I will tell you that. So happy birthday to Captain Robert, his sister April Butterfield, 68 years. That's a good number. I'm heading that way. I'm not quite there yet. So I hope I am faring as good as she is when I get to 68. Thanks, Robert, for letting us know the birthday is happening. Birthdays are always a fun thing. Even if you don't want to have another one. Let's head up to, speaking of Course Gold, let's head up to SWL 195, and I'm making it through the skip over.
195, checking in, Dennis. I didn't hear Tony jump in there. I thought somebody was on the side there.
Okay, I listened and I heard something come through, but I didn't sound like Tony. You're actually coming through quite nice through the skip, so I'll take a pause here and see if Tony's perhaps back. So thanks, Jim, for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Trying to kind of sneak in between the high altitude guys up there in the foothills. Really can hear the skip much better than we can down here in the valley. So Tony, 145, if you're in there, take a transmission. All right, I'll get him checked in. I know he was running the Friday morning net. I got the information for that, and I missed that. Thanks, Jim, and thanks for checking in.
Hey, Dennis, you had a Merry Baker for you.
Okay, let me see what I've got. I'm hearing a little bit of Australia that's making things tough. This is the old Tube Radio Network listening over.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Jim. Yeah, this is Tony, 145. Yeah, I was on site then. Am I coming through now? Roger.
Hey, loud and clear, S8, no problems, beaconing down into Midtown in fine style, over.
Oh, yeah, the noise is really bad up here tonight. Thank you, Jim. Set me straight there. Appreciate that. Anyway, happy Easter, everyone. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you for running the net.
All right, Tony, yeah, you've got it going off on good. You've got the right antenna, you've got the audio, and all is well. I got you checked in 145 up in Corsco. Thanks, Tony. Let's head over to SWL 226. And any others that need to get checked in that I might have missed or trying to make it through the skip. All right, I'm going to jump in, get our tube radio set up to get fired up. If you got a radio you want to check in, we'll be doing that in a minute or two. I've got to do some reconfiguration on the audio streams. Hello to who just joined us. Color Radios in listening to tonight, and a host of others. Give us a shout on the chat windows if you want, if you can, and we'll give us a try. If you're out in the Pacific Ocean in a boat, we just might be able to hear you. OTR back in a couple minutes here with your tube radios.
Quickie.
And the Quickie Hello Radio.
Yeah, we got audio.
You have audio over.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
All right, looking and sounding good. We'll be back in a minute or two. KB6GFD, I don't know where you're at, but you're right in my squelch level. Over.
Yeah, I'm in a bad spot. Around the corner, you should be able to. Okay, I should make it home to check in a radio or two. W6OTR.
All right, good deal. We're just getting to the tube radios now, so yeah, when you get in, take your time and you should be just fine. Drive carefully and we'll catch you on the air, KB6GFD.
W6OTR.
You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, I hope we're still functioning, still transmitting here on the Less Than Stellar Net Control. My name is Dennis, and one of the many net controllers that have jumped into the air chair here at the Old Tube Radio Network in the last 36 or 7 years or so, as we on Channel 11, 27085 out here in the Central Valley of California, endeavor to take a little time out for those tube radio stations to have a place to get on the air, to fire up the radios, to talk about microphones, to compare notes, something we have been doing most Saturdays for a long, long time, and we invite you to join in with your radio. Listen in. Your comments are welcome. Your questions to the operators as well. And that's a good thing. Let's see, before we start, a couple of things. I was going to check out the new pen for the pocket protector. I think the camera's off a little bit, or maybe it's me. I'm off a little bit. Tonight, sponsored by compliments of D&J Radio Sales at 228 North Meridian, Three Rivers Falls, Minnesota. In the 218 area code. Let's see if the close-up cam, oh, there it is, pointing somewhere, can get a shot of our pen tonight from D&J. Boy, the autofocus is broken. D&J Radio Sales. That'll go right here in the pocket protector. Safe and sound. Who is that? Who is that camera guy over there? Let's go back. All right, now, 23 Skidoo has another of the trivia questions tonight. Trivia for experts. So put on your tube radio thinking caps. Those of you who've been doing this for a while, maybe you had a radio and you'll have a clue. What were the least and most expensive Panasonic chassis radios by list price? Talking list price. Now, typically you can check out a list price if you see some of the old ads. So, on the Panasonic chassis, what were the least and most expensive Panasonic chassis radios by list price? And as we check in the Panasonic chassis, you will notice that some of them did get a little bit more front elevation time with switches and knobs and lights and dials, and some of them did not, even though if you looked inside, you might see exactly the same thing. So my hint to you would be the radios that are a bit more garish, the radios that have more bells and whistles, even though they look that same Panasonic chassis on the inside, are possibly, I could be steering you wrong here, but possibly the ones that would command a little bit bigger price for their manufacturers. All right, so with that said, the Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's going in the dark. It's time for me to stop talking, and the crowd goes wild. Yes, it's time for the radios to start keying down, or is it keying up? I'm listening.
135, 135.
And I'm hoping that we'll have a few tonight. I know it's going to be a little bit slow. We're kind of into the pre-holiday mode. I think I just ruined my camera here. There we go. All right, so Mr. Green Arrow, I hear you. We're putting you at the list at, it's a 9:16 already, Pacific Daylight Time. If you're still at the microphonium, take a transmission. Tell us what is going on.
Oh, first of all, hey there, ho there, and happy Easter Day very soon to everybody out there. And, of course, the Easter Bunny says hello to everybody. let's see, from Mars Hill, North Carolina, and the Hammerland Radio Corporation, Hammerland Manufacturing Company. This is the HQ205. That's Hotel Quebec 205. Let's see, 6 transmit channels if you count the extra transmit channel. Crystal controlled transmit, 11 tubes, and either crystal controlled or endless VFO receive. Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. All right, for those of you who want one of the least common, when you would see it sitting around thinking, that's not a CB radio, what the heck is that? Well, Hammerland, the receiver manufacturer extraordinaire of amateur radio items, got into the biz early on. And the way they did it was by taking some of their classic receivers and secreting a 10/11 meter transmitter in there, a little 5-watt DC input. Cliff has one of them tonight, the second in the series, the HQ205. Very interesting radio, and we'll spend a little time talking about all the things that it does that might be a bit different. Let me see if I can get a larger, yeah, there we go, larger shot. So this is not your garden variety radio. It looks quite large compared to, say, your standard Robin T123B. It looks like it's about twice the height, but I could be wrong. Over.
Oh, no, you're not wrong. Yeah, this is a very large radio. And I'd have to say it's the anti-radio to the like the Johnson 223, that being, a very simple, easy to operate radio. This one here can get just about as complicated as you please. It's there's a lot of stuff to mess with. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to get a close-up and I'll try to explain. There are 2 tuning dials on the top center of the radio, and I don't think either of those are for the transmit, obviously, because you had to be crystal controlled. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, looks like 9 dials, see a crystal socket, and a set of 3 switches on either side. There is a knob between the channel, or between the dial, the 2 dials, and there's something above that. So let's start. Hopefully you've got some light there and things aren't rubbed off, because I'm going to ask you some questions. But let's start on the left-hand side. There are 3 switches. Is that your channel selectors? Over.
Negative. Excuse me. I just had a quick drink of water so I could do this. The channel selector is the far lower right knob. And I know it didn't photograph well, but believe it or not, none of the markings are actually rubbed off or difficult to read. It just photographed that way for some reason. But the channel selector and the external transmit crystal is all there in the lower right. Let's see, the switches in the upper left are your limiter, your BFO, and AVC, automatic volume control switches, which switches them on and off. The 3 switches on the right, again from left to right, are the VFO or crystal. You can select your receiving either way. There's a spot switch there in the middle, which is a good thing to have. And then the transmit switch is all the way off out there on the right. So you can actually use a, like a regular studio kind of microphone and hook it up to this and just go transmit and receive with that switch. Otherwise, if you want to engage from the microphone, you can do that as well. You have your choice.
All right, good stuff. For anybody who's a true SWL who started out DXing shortwave broadcasts, this is just the coolest radio. And they're very, very hard to find. I don't know if they made that many. And when you have controls, and those of you who do have the big radios know that all those AVCs and BFOs are for your receive section to add a little bit of carrier into for listening to sideband, which is probably pretty difficult to tune in. For Morse code CW, that BFO switch is necessary. Let's run around. I'm wondering if you have an RF gain or something to that nature, which would probably make things a heck of a lot easier if you were trying to decipher sideband and it was coming in way too heavy.
Well, they decided to call it something else. Hammerlin decided to call that the sensitivity knob, which is just to the lower left of center on the bottom. Is a push-me, pull-you kind of knob. Pushed in, it's your RF gain is really what it is, or sensitivity as they call it. You pull it out and that's your squelch. And yes, they do act independently of one another.
Okay, interesting. So a big receiver would have that. And you said this is 6 channels?
6-channel transmit. If you count the external, let's say it's got a little plug there for an extra transmit channel. Otherwise, like right now, the way I have it set up, it's just those 5 channels.
Got it. All right, I'm going to go to a rear view, and there is, in the back of the radio, there's a little cutout, a space where you can actually get into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crystals, transmit and receive, one for each side, and some antenna connections. There's an SO239, but you've got antenna connections probably for long wires, and the reason you would need those extra antenna connections on the long wire is the radio frequency agility of the receiver goes from, and I will, and you can confirm this, Cliff, I think it starts at the AM broadcast band and goes up through 10 meters, which would be close to 30 megahertz, right?
Yes, sir. 0.54. That's 540 on your AM dial. Continuous coverage all the way up to 30 megahertz.
So true SWL, you can listen to WWV, tune your radio in. Cliff and I did a little testing earlier. It looks like the bandwidth is a full maybe 12 kc wide on AM, so full fidelity for listening to shortwave stations or some of the early AM guys. 23 Skidoo mentioning that the HQ205 seems to have been available for a short time in 1969, and he's mentioning, and I agree, that it seems pretty late to introduce a CB hybrid with just 6 channels. And did they get this type accepted? Well, it's crystal controlled. In theory, it's 5 watts. I don't know if it had a 10-meter conversion. I think the HQ105 had a 10-meter or 11-meter style conversion thing, so they might be getting away with doing something like that to get the type acceptance. Have you ever put your 205 on the watt meter to see what happens when it's tuned correctly and you have an unmodulated carrier? Or did you get 4 or 5 watts out of that thing?
Only just. This one's a little bit more powerful than my 105. My 105 only does about 3 watts, swings barely to 4. This one is more like 4.5 watts, swinging to 5. Hello. Yeah, if I talk loudly into it. So it does the job. In answer to your earlier question, yes, there's a whole section in the manual, which I also have, about doing 10-meter AM on this. All you have to do is an RF output alignment and put in the proper crystal, and you can do 10-meter AM as well. And, it's surprisingly easy to tune in sideband, and it's really easy to tune in CW signals on this thing. It has the Q multiplier sensitivity and frequency control, and of course the BFO. So it's a little on the complicated side, but it's surprisingly easy.
A Q multiplier. I had one. It was a separate box built by Heathkit that would strap on, or you could put it on. I had it on the Hallicrafters SX99. Really nice for notching things down. And with these radios, typically when you hear sideband, you got to click on the BFO. Not the best way to do it, but then you usually have to bring your sensitivity down until you get rid of the, I would call it phase distortion, depending on if you're listening to an upper or lower sideband. And then away you go. So very versatile radio. You can listen to the broadcast AM band at, 0.554 up to 1700 kilocycles, and then everything continues up through that. Just a cool radio. It's one of their receivers with the transmitter inside. I do not know. I don't think I have anything that says the price on this. It is 30 pounds. There are 11 tubes. It looks, oh my gosh, it's got an OB2. It's got a regulator tube in there. So do you know if it's got the regulator tube, or did it get solid stated out?
Oh no, this has the OB2 Kenobi. Is that a dual diode rectifier? I think it's a rectifier tube.
All right, and you can hear the audio. We'll talk about the audio. We're spending a little more time on this. It's so unusual. Listen to that audio. It's full fidelity, low frequency. This thing is passing whatever you put into it. So if you were an audio aficionado, you could probably run a cool audio board through this. And we'll do, I think Cliff said he wanted to do some microphone testing. Tube complement. Thank you, Greg. Love to hear about the tube complement. I can do that while we take a transmission here. Power input. It says 115 volt or 230 volt AC. So it must have had a tap on the transformer in there. Let's see. RF is a 6 Baker Zanzibar 6. V2 is a 6 Baker Echo 6. The oscillator is a 6 HF8. The audio amp, a 12 AX7. The IF tubes are 6 B8 6s. The audio output, a 6 GW8. The BFO, a 6 C4. Is that a small tube? I don't remember. The transmitter final, as you might expect, the 6BQ5. The transmitter oscillator, the 6BA6, and the regulator tube, the OB2. I don't know if that's the one that glows blue or not, but anyway, cool radio. I don't know, are we up to the microphone yet? Did you want to try the other microphonium?
Yes, I'm moving just as fast as my little legs can carry me. Hello, yes, this is the other microphone. 1, 2, 3, suffering sibilance, a boom, 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 bing, bing, bang. Oh, and I am a tad high in frequency, aren't I? 0857, 0858. This thing does drift out here in the backyard. It's getting, as it gets cooler, the temperature goes up. I don't know why. When it gets warmer, the frequency goes down. This is in all appearances, an identical microphone. Both of these are D104 static Silver Eagles, and this will be, I guess, Silver Eagle number 2. How does this one sound?
Boy, it sounds like you're on a totally different radio. There's absolutely no low frequencies at all. I pulled up the Orban meter. You're kicking up on the LKFS to about -20. That's a loudness indication. We'll go back to the other microphone. And I went to the S meter just to see a little bit of the forward modulation to see where it's taking you. You don't get quite to 10 over, but it's very crisp. It's got some more articulation, but the low frequencies are totally gone. So all you did was change the microphone. Is that correct?
That's all I did. And if you remember your rear picture of this thing, it takes me a minute because the microphone jack is that octal plug or jack that you see in the back of the radio. So here in the dark with the flashlight, I got to reach back there, yoink the one and plug in the other, and I got to find the keyway. You know, it's got the little keyway thing in the center, so you don't, plug in the wrong pins. So give me just a second, and I'll plug the other one back in for comparison, I guess, yes?
Yeah, I just switched to the rear shot, and I was going to ask you about the microphone, because when I looked at the front, it said headphones, but I didn't see a microphone. So there's a microphone jack. It's the octal plug. That must be interesting, too. to wire up. All right, let me go back to the Orban meter, and what Cliff is doing is basically just switching the D104 microphones that he has. So it almost sounds like there's an impedance thing going on. All right, Cliff, back to you on the other microphone here on the Hammerland HQ205.
Okay, did I successfully put on the right microphone?
You successfully put on the right microphone, take a transmission.
And I'm keying up the right microphone. It's very confusing. Because I say they're both, they look identical. One of them has a piece of blue tape on it, so I can tell which one is which. But other than that, they look exactly the same. I'm like, yeah, which one?
All right, I'm just looking at the Orban meter. Because it has all those low frequencies, it definitely pushes more loudness. So meter-wise, it definitely shows there's more loudness coming through. Take a transmission. I'll see if it pushes it up to 10 over on the peaks.
Okay. Audio. The audio peaks. I'm not sure how I should do that. I'll talk normally, and then I will do the obligatory CB audio and see how that scares things up.
All right, yeah, just a little bit more forward movement, just below 10 over, a little more movement. So I think it's just the extra frequencies that are more in the voice range of, 600 to 200 hertz are really set up by that microphone. So I don't know why there's so much difference. And you'll hear the replay if you go, listen to the archive. Big difference. Almost sounds like it could be a impedance thing, unless there is a way that you can wire that microphone, with a phase difference, or you change the plus and minus. Maybe that's doing something to do some phasing. But I think I prefer the lower frequency. Like we said earlier, you got to be careful not to overdrive because those low frequencies come up. But boy, a nice sounding radio, very interesting. And truly one that the SWLs would enjoy, even if they never keyed up the radio.
Oh, well, thanks. That's a good deal. I'm actually kind of glad to hear that because this here one, the low frequency one, I guess, this is actually mine. The other one is Harvey's, and so that's a good deal because I don't get to keep that one. We're just comparing them to see which one sounded better and if we'd have to do more surgery or something. A quick word on antennas. In the back you saw that SO239 versus the little screw terminals. The SO239 is just for transmit and receive here on the CB band. The screw terminals, you got to hook up an antenna to that if you want to listen to all the rest of the radio. And you can leave them both hooked up at the same time because when you use the band selector, it takes one takes the other out of the circuit, so it doesn't blast RF straight back into your radio. It's actually kind of cool, and also that knob in the middle, directly underneath the world's tiniest meter. And that is for size comparisons, that is the same kind of meter you'd see in just about any mobile radio. That knob is your receive antenna tuning, and it really does make a big difference. It really peaks the signal depending on what band you're on and what antenna you're using. So with that, back to you.
I didn't even think to ask about the S meter. I saw the item above the radio. Yeah. Why not put one of those giant S meters like they have in the Tram Titan 2 that we saw on Old Radio Night? Very interesting. I'll have to look at some of the like the S meters on the 105 and some of their HQ series. I wonder why they didn't go with one of those, because they probably had a ton of them. One more question back to the back of the radio. We talked about the antenna jack, and I'm used to, or the screw terminals. I'm used to between the plus minus and the ground. On the other left side of the microphone octal plug, there are two screws there. I cannot read what it says that they do. Is that yet another microphone thing, or what's going on with the two screws next to the octal plug?
You're going to actually make me go back here and look, aren't you? All right. Let's see what you're talking about. There's speaker terminals. I mean, all the way as you're looking on it, it would be on the left. It's our speaker terminals. And then there's another little screw there. That's your the load, the load tuning.
Oh, good. I should have thought about speakers, and I thought the other one might be an S-meter adjust, but it's so small, who cares, right? Tune and load. Super cool radio. Great audio. That's just the D104, and you can hear the fidelity between one D104, which has got all the high frequencies, and the other D104, which has got all the low frequencies. That radio is definitely just passing what is actually in it. It's from Hammerland, makers of amateur radio, shortwave radio listening devices, and they got into the mix, sort of like Swan did, and E.F. Johnson and Hallicrafters on the Class D, and put out a couple, the HQ205, the 105, which was another receiver transmitter, and then, what is it, there's 215. Anyway, the other sets they had definitely looked like CB radios. This one does not, and we're surmising that this could have been out in the late 60s, and a very interesting time to put it out. Back to you. Thanks for bringing it by. Any other thing you want to tell us about it, that's great, but we don't get this one out of the radio garage much, so we take a little time when you bring it out. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a bit much to hoist out here. And I'm using the matching speaker for the other, the 105. That's the S105 speaker. Because it's the same kind of thing, and I've never found an S205 speaker. If I ever do, I will try to snag one. And everybody sounds great on it. Inside the square speaker is a 6x9 speaker, which is oval. I don't know why they did that, but you and everybody else sounds just outstanding on that speaker and through this radio. So thanks for letting me check it in. Sorry we took so much time with it, but it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I haven't operated this one since last year. So with that, we'll turn it back over to OTR Control. See ya, and Happy Easter.
Okay, one last question. Where is the, and you may have told me, but it didn't click. Where is the speaker, if there is one internally in there, where is it firing? Side, top, bottom?
Oh, yeah, both this and the 105 do not have a speaker. You must have an external speaker.
Okay, and that was my other question. If it didn't, then it needs an external speaker. And in your, don't go measuring things, but in your kind of guesstimation, would the speaker that comes with the 105, and I've seen the speaker box for that. Does it match up height-wise with the 205? Can you pair the two?
Oh, yes. They were obviously made for each other. It's not there in my picture?
Well, it's not in the 105 picture, or the 205 picture, which I just lost. And I thought I had a 105 picture, and it says the image is not available, which is not good because I used to have pictures for that. So Hammerland S105 speaker. I'm going through the archives here. For some reason, they're all coming up not available. I don't know why that is. So let me go back to the 205. And I see schematics. Let me get beside the dark screen. No, there is no speaker in that.
Huh, because I'm sure the picture I took had the speaker. Or maybe that was with the 105, because I know I did that too. Believe it or not, I actually got that speaker with my, I have a HQ100 AC, which is just a receiver. It's the same matching speaker for the whole series.
Yeah, that's what I would think. And they have the nice little grill on them that is fancy. Yeah, for some reason, I am not, when I go to the 105 TR, the image picture is no longer showing up. I don't like that. And it actually is there if I go to another shot, but that's not, for some reason it is not showing up. Let me do one more thing here. There it is. So There's the other speaker, if you're looking at the video that goes with the 105. Very similar. And the 105 has the bigger S meter and the clock, so that was pretty interesting. All right, Cliff, thanks. Thanks for spending a little time with us. The Hammerland HQ 205, 6-channel, shortwave receiver and 5-watt, 11-meter Class D AM transmitter. If you can find one that's in actually good shape, you should put it on your shelf.
Absolutely. These are hard to come by. Thanks again, and see ya.
All right, so with the no clock option, you got to have the 105 for that. The Jingle Singers would like to do their thing. We'll take a quick pause, and then if you would like to check in a radio, we will be there for you. This is the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz.
On your dial, that's
Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
in wonderful
Fresno, California.
Listening for Radio 2.
For any station.
Or for any station that would like to check in the breaking station. Go ahead.
50 checking in a little bit late. Figured while we're here, we might as well check in the big old brown bird.
Yeah, let's do that. SWL50. Mark is joining us tonight. Let me get your SWL checked in and then refresh our memories as to the style of bird that's in front of you there. Over.
Well, just Golden Eagle Mark III side bin with a stock mic.
Right, the Mark III SSB sounding good, looking good on your Old Tube Radio Network, and we appreciate getting Radio 2 tonight.
Alrighty, well, I didn't start a fire. It's a little chilly out here, so I'm going to get scooting.
Yeah, it's winter came back for a couple of days, and the farther up the hill you go, the lower the temperature gets. So thanks for at least generating a little bit of heat for all of us with your tube radio tonight. Sounding good. And we were looking for Radio 3.
We'll give her a shot there, Dennis.
I am ready. I've got the number 3 position up and ready to go.
Thank you much, Dennis. I'd like to check in from World Radio Labs, My Hustler Radio. 7 tubes, 8 channels. Yeah, I'm hoping it has 8 channels. I'm talking on probably one of them. So anyway, we'd like to check in our radio with a Turner Plus. It's got a +3 power mic.
Is that the same mic you normally run with? It just seems louder tonight for some reason.
Well, we might be a little bit more on top of it since we got new shelving. We kind of have to handle the mic a little different. It's not stationary. We're kind of got it up close to us. But wanted to be sure we're being heard.
Oh, you're being heard. Yeah, that radio can handle the extra audio. Just sounds a bit different than I'm normally used to hearing with that radio. You can bring it back down. You can leave it right there. But that's a good, for those that remember this radio from prior weeks, it's a good indication that the World Radio Labs has got, probably doesn't have a lot of limiters and clippers. So whatever you want to put into the front of that radio, audio-wise, it will try and send out. Squelch volume, channel, and tuning. 8 channels, I believe, with an external switchable socket S-meter. And from World Radio Labs. They are also a company that was a big player in the 50s and 60s in amateur radio, making some big, heavy-duty, high-power boat anchor radios, and then jumping into the Class D with some of their selections, and this is one of them. Take a transmission.
Yeah, well, I kind of don't think it'd really be a good radio to use as a boat anchor. Kind of small for that size. But anyway, doggone it, she'll do the job. I'm sure a lot of people must have appreciated a radio this size to be on the airway. It's got all the features a guy needs. It's got a meter. It has 4 knobs on it and an extra channel area there. But yeah, we thank you for letting us check this one in. We've got another one. We can smell her warming up.
All right, good deal. Thanks for bringing by radio number 3 tonight from Leo Meyerson, World Radio Labs. I was talking to a station today that said they used to run the Globe Champion, the Globe King, the Globe 500 Globe radios, all from World Radio Labs, and toning it down, taking out about 80 pounds and 100 watts to bring it down to Class D 11-meter citizen radio service. I want to say hello to Timtron. Timtron is joining us tonight from possibly out in the Bay Area and mentions the Jingle Singers. Let's go to the Jingle Singers. They are out around the ribbon microphone, and we'll jump in. Let's try this.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
The station for you and you and you, the Old Tube Radio Network. Our jingle singers and Mr. Announcer, those who've been with the Old Tube Radio Network listening in for, is it 35, 36 years, know that the jingle singers have been with us most all of that time. Yes, indeed, they enjoy the tube radios as much as we all do. So thanks, Timtron, for tuning in tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network still beaconing across the Central Valley and all over on the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net, and now with video. Don't add pictures to radio. It gets confusing. We are looking for radio number 4.
20.
And hello, Harvey. Can you hear me? Over.
Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're sounding good. There is much audio mellifluousness heading to the Old Tube Radio Network. Take a transmission. Over. Gotta say over.
Hang on. I gotta stand up here. Okay. Looks like a suppressed carrier, but that's what we got. This is for Paul. This is his Demco Travelier plus 30 desk mic. I don't have the Demco modulator hooked up, but I wanted you to check frequency. It should be really, really close. I made some last-minute changes for them. So we've got that. And then the panel lights, the way they were in there, you can only see half the dial. So I remounted the two panel lights in the middle, so it looks a lot better.
All right, just to clarify so I can mark you down on the list here, Radio 4, you are on the Travelier by Demco, over.
Yeah, Roger. The Demco or the Travelier by Demco, yes.
Boy, sounds good. Audio is nice and loud. Good, nice audio. Got a picture of the Travelier, which Demco, like Browning and Buddy, had a transmitter receiver. The Travelier was a transceiver, all receiver and transmitter in one box, specifically, I suppose, to be the mobile version, but it did have accessories. It had the power supply, I believe is the one unit we're seeing, and the Demco modulator, which wasn't necessary to make audio, but could go with it. So, in theory, if you wanted to run it in the mobile, would you need just the Travelier? Is that correct?
Well, I'm not sure. There's no vibrator in this thing. You might need a separate DC power supply to plug in the back where the AC one does. So that's a possibility. I can look it up. It's in Sam's fact book number, whatever. So I can look it up. But anyway, in case Paul's listening, I wanted you to beat my frequency and see how close.
All right, take another transmission. I had to get the different resolution on the VFO here. Take a transmission. We'll see if we can find out where you are at.
Okay. My 2 meters, free counters. Oh, right. Yeah, both of them. 084.8. So you're 050 or close to that.
All right, back to AM, 84.7.9. So, yeah, if you want to call it 84.8, that would probably work. The FCC designated crystal control for Class D, and I think they gave you a 700 cycle plus or minus off that crystal frequency. So at 200, you're well within specs. Over.
Hey, Roger. Okay. I just got home a little while ago, so gotta get something to eat. I got one more radio, and I want to try 2 different microphones on it. So I'll be back in just a little bit with the other radio, and we'll see what happens. And if Cliff is still listening, the Hammerlin sounded good. What I heard. But I didn't hear you talking to him that much. What did you think of his audio?
The audio is great, and we did a comparison between 2 different D104 microphoniums. One that has all sorts of low frequencies and not a lot of high articulation, but the radio is passing very, very low frequencies. I think that radio is open on the audio. Then he switched to the other D104, and there was absolutely no low frequencies below 400, 500 hertz. Lots of articulation, but no low frequencies. And he basically switched microphones. So I'm thinking there is either an impedance issue, or in that octal in the back, perhaps you can phase things differently by switching your plus and minus, or there is an issue with one or both of those D104s. Because it is an extreme, drastic difference between the 2 microphones. But the radio is passing the big high frequencies, the radio is passing the big low frequencies. For power, for loudness, the D104 that accentuates the low frequencies is, I think, preferable maybe for DX, the other microphone. So it's one of those things, and I have to, first of all, I would take both microphones and try them on a different radio just to see if it's the microphone itself. And if not, then there is something going on probably with an impedance matching on the Hammerland, if that makes any sense. Over.
Okay. Did he tell you what kind of D104s?
I think he said there were Silver Eagles, Golden. He said they were basically the same.
Roger. 2 Silver Eagles. The high one is from my 205. The other one is his cartridge, but another Silver Eagle of mine. However, when I looked at the identical preamps, one of them gave a number on there like R-100, and the other one, and that's the high one. The one that's low says R-100 Revision 2. So there might be a difference in the preamps. However, that low one, I'm going to check out the electrolytic cap or caps on the board and see if that's a problem. Because that mic's been sitting around for who knows how many years, along with the other one. But that other one just seems to be a lot higher pitched. So I'll check it out, and we'll see what we can do and get him a good one.
All right, they're both good. I would say if you're using the one D104 on a Browning that doesn't have low frequencies, you might not notice the difference between the two that much on a radio that doesn't pass low frequencies like a Browning. But on that radio that he had that is totally open, if you want to send 50 hertz, it's going to try and pass out 50 hertz. The difference in the matching, big difference. So there is a microphone for that radio that has low frequencies and high frequencies, probably would sound really good. And it did sound good. It's just on the microphone with the lower frequency, you needed to add some, as Bob Heil would say, some articulation. All right, go do your thing. Thanks for joining us. The Traveler, very interesting, nice and loud. If Paul is listening, I think he will be pleased.
37.
Okay, there's 37, and I'll fire up the other one.
All right, thanks for that. 37, jump into the air chair, but don't take a transmission just yet. I wanted to comment on a few things for those who are over on the video side. Also, I want to say hello to we got one of those CB celebrities. A lot of them joining us tonight. Toby, who administers many Facebook pages dealing with Citizen Band radio, audio fidelity on such things, is joining us tonight. If he's still staying up late in Kansas tonight. Toby, thanks for dropping by the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Always glad to have you stop by. And those who were not on the video side, but we mentioned the 23 Skidoos trivia tonight about the Panasonic radios. Part 1 was the least expensive Panasonic chassis, and Part 2 was the most expensive Panasonic chassis. And I'm actually, let's see, I'm not surprised by the first one, but I am surprised by the second one. And we'll go through that in a moment. But we've got the answer coming up here in a bit. So, hello, Chris. You are going to be radio number 5.
Oh, is it my turn now?
It is your turn. Over.
Okay, I don't mind the noise in the background. Surround sound. Anyway, a movie night as normal. But anyway, I'm going to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A 24-channel version of this in here with the handheld stock microphone.
From General Radio Telephone, this is the early 1970s, probably the last General Radio Telephone from beautiful downtown Burbank, here on the West Coast, that got type accepted for that company, and probably one of the loudest, thanks to 12AX7s and ECLL 800s. Take a transmission, Chris, and just, if you don't know, he's using the stock microphone. No amplification necessary.
That is absolutely true. It is the stock handheld microphone. Over.
All right, and what's on the movie list tonight?
We're watching something on, what is it, Paramount channel. It's a sci-fi.
What, you're not watching Convoy or one of those CB movies?
No, not tonight. I think this is called Halo or something like that.
Okay, well, I'm just kidding. Because the Old Tube Radio Network is probably better than any CB movie, although I don't think I live up to Burt Reynolds or all those other guys that, are in the CB movies. But this is the best I can do with the seersucker suit and the pocket protector. You are Radio 5, the General Radio Telephone, always Super MC11A, always sounding good.
And that was with Chris Christopherson, on that deal there. And oh gosh, there's a whole slew of other actors in there that was pretty good. And as they said, Breaker 19, Rubber Ducky.
That's right. The music convoy. Yeah, I'm not going to try and compete with Chris Christopherson. Speaking of Chris, he's sounding good for Radio 5 on the GRT Super MC11A. All right, grab some popcorn on your way back to the theater, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being there, Dennis. This is it for me tonight, but I am going to walk over there to the chair, and to my other air chair where the TV is blaring, so got to get it. It's like being in a theater. We got to surround. So anyway, thank you, Dennis, for being there, and Harvey, you're always sounding good.
All right, let's go to the Jingle Singers. I think they're ready to go, and we'll revisit the answers to the Panasonic quiz. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Yeah, as modern as you can be with your classic Old Tube CB radio. Talking about the Panasonic chassis, and there were a lot of them. Talking about the least expensive Panasonic list price and the most expensive. Least expensive, Lafayette to the rescue. Lafayette helping people get on the air. And I'm surprised that this was that price. Lafayette Comstat 23 Mark 6, introduced in 1969 for $99.95. Was that the 12 channel? Because I think they had the Mark 19. Was it the Comstat? No, it was Comstat 19. That could have been a kit as well. Probably about that time. And that's the one that had the switch for 100 milliwatts or 5 watts. So if you didn't have your license, you could switch that thing to 100 milliwatts. $100. Not too bad. I think I paid $129 for my Realistic Navajo in 1970 or 71. I wish I would have known about the Comstat 23. The most expensive Panasonic, and of course you would think you would go, and we're talking tube radios here, so you would go to 1976, 77, to the Panasonic 23 or 40 channel chassis, which you do, and it's the Gemtronics GTX 5000 at $329.95. I'm surprised. I would have been totally wrong. I would have guessed the Robin, because it always seemed like the Robin had the most features brought out to the front of the radio. So interesting. I learned something there. $329.95. In 1977, you were still competing with Brownings at close to $800. Not sure what the trams were at. There were some sort of other radios at that time that weren't mainstream that were way up there in price, but $329. 1977, you might be able to get yourself a nice black and white console TV, or maybe a used Ford Falcon. I bet you could have bought a used car for $329 back in the day. OTR listening, we're counting and amounting, and the 2240D was only $299.95. That's a deal. And if you go on eBay, they probably are just about that price right now. Counting and amounting, taking check-ins if you got them.
Hello, with the modulator on, as you can tell.
And sounding good. You have tamed the modulator. It is not so persnickety as it has been in past episodes with buzzing, humming, and all sorts of nastiness. It sounds good.
Okay, this is the Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 by Browning Lavatories, with the modulator on, so I can be heard a little better. Okay. Unamped D104. Okay. When I come back next time, I'll have a different mic on.
Same radio, but different microphone?
Yep. Whoops. Come here. Yeah. Same radio, different microphone.
All right, we're listening, and the Brownings don't pass a lot of low frequencies. Browning made it that way. You can pump as much 150 hertz of mellifluousness that you want, and the radio is going to just not pass it. So the sound I'm getting out of that Browning is very similar to the sound that Cliff got from the Hammerland when he had your microphonium on there. All right, I've left the Orban meter up to see if we can check some loudness. OTR standing by.
Okay. I have to clean some relays, but here's a different microphone. Okay? What do you think of it?
Wow, not as clear. It accentuates some mid-range frequencies that really aren't good for articulation. It's good I can hear you, they say good communication quality audio, but all that high-end articulation is just totally gone.
Okay. I think I have to do a little cleaning on this. I talked to Cliff on it, and it sounded the way you said it, then it cleared up. So, this is an amplified gray bass D104 with the bass painted black. But the head is an all-chrome alien head. D whatever it is. Let me see if I can. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, I got this up too high. Come here. There we go. Now I gotta be able to read this thing. It's the DN-HZ head. Delta November Hotel Zulu head on here. All chrome, no fins on the top, round all the way except on the sides, each right left side you have little fin things where the screws go in. And the cartridge is the magnetic cartridge.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's similar to a D10A, but you've got a different one. I'll bring a picture up. I should be able to get something like. Let me grab it and push it into the picture. There it is. Not a very good picture, but it gives you an idea. It's definitely not your standard D104, but it reminds me of the D10A. Looks a little bit more alien-esque. And those are going probably, at least in this overpriced ad, for well over $100 over.
Yeah, now there's a little bit better ping. I have to clean the relays. I got to take it apart and get up in there and burnish the relays. Then it keys up a lot sweeter. And I think the sound isn't as kind of garbagey. But tone quality wise, it's not as high pitched, a little lower, but it's got some decent gain to it.
No, it's got good gain. It just doesn't have that articulation. It picks up a lot of room noise. It sounds like you're really far away from the microphone. It doesn't have the sharp highs. And neither microphone had a lot of lows, but it's definitely, I don't think it's as, it plays as well on this radio as the other one.
Okay. Actually, now I'm as close to this mic as I was to the D104. I'm feeding back into something. Oh. What am I doing? Feeding back into something here. I don't know what I'm feeding back into. Well, wait, what? Oh! I forgot to turn the Demco off. I was feeding back in the Demco. Okay. Now I'm not.
Yeah, the oscillation is gone, but you are still there, and it is working well. So either microphone, of course, is putting audio, but for pleasantness, if you're going to be in a rag-chew chat, the other one might be a bit better. But they're both good. I would not hesitate to use either one All right, we're going to do some counting and amounting here. Let those stations who are staying up late with us tonight have a chance to get out and say thank you and read off the list. So thanks for the microphonians. And anybody else that needs to comment before we head out the door here. As the stations are out making donuts and boiling the eggs, heading to the green room to get all the good things that we have out there that I think are still left. Let me see if I've got, do we have the fanfare? Are we ready to read the list? I think so.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final OTR totals here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Episode ? I'm not sure what episode this is. After so many years on the air, thanks to you and your radios, we're appreciative of that. On the SWL list, and Epimetheus 83 is in, so we'll add another one to page 4 and bring the total up. 83 got you checked in. No problem, we're still going here. We have 12 check-ins on page 1, 22 on page 2, 14 on page 3, and 28 on page 4 for a total of 76. And 6 radios tonight, not too bad. I was thinking we might get a few less than normal because a lot of people are out and about due to the upcoming holiday item of interest. So thanks to all those who took time out of whatever they were doing. Maybe you had to sneak away into the radio room, but we won't tell, to get things checked in. Most heard manufacturer were Brownings, but we had some interesting items of interest, including the Hamberlin HQ205TR. No clock, but a shortwave receiver that goes from the broadcast band all the way up to 10 meters, and lo and behold, there's a 10-11 meter transmitter in there that is possibly type accepted. Thanks, Cliff, for that. Hope you can check the archives to see the microphonium testing. Nice to hear Mark up in O'Neill's tonight on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. From World Radio Labs, and Joe tonight, Hustler on the Hustler, with a little bit more audio flavor than normal. It sounded good. Doing a good job on the Hustler. The Demco Travelair also sounding loud, and we might get to hear that one up at Paul's location. Thanks, Harvey, for the work you do on keeping the radios up and running for our radio operators so that they can get on the air. Radio number 5, Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A from General Radio Telephone out there in Burbank. And Harvey, as you heard moments ago, the Browning Lavatories Golden Beagle, the R68T68. That set after the first Eagle and before the Mark II, the R68T68. That's what we have tonight. Hope everyone is doing well and enjoying whatever the weather is that's being thrown your way. And as always, thanks for your time to join us on the Old Tube Radio Network and your participation. Get on the air wherever you are, on whatever radio you have. And as I always say, if you are thinking about or going to be studying for an upgrade for your ham radio ticket to get on the air on those other frequencies, keep up the good work. Study on QRZ, or if you've got the study guides, do that. And I'm thinking we might have maybe a Sunday afternoon gathering on 10 meter AM or on one of the 10 meter sideband frequencies or anywhere. So I'd like to be able to pick up the stations that we can't hear all the time because the conditions just aren't that great at 8 o'clock in the evening here on the West Coast. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time on your Old Tube Radio Network.
Good job, Dennis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. And happy Easter to you.
Indeed, catch you all later, 73 from OTR.
Happy Easter from Harvey the Wabbit.
guys have a good one out there. We didn't get this checked in, but that's all right. Happy Easter, y'all.
Hey, Jerry. Doggone it, we did miss you, man. Yeah, well, we'll see. Happy Easter, Jerry.
Yeah, you have a good one, man. You guys take care.
Oh yeah, it's keying up with the big signal. The audio is a little low. The ping is loud, but it's there. All right, good night, everybody. Yeah, over. And it's over. I can't remember how Bill did it. Talk to you all later.
Calling you, Harvey.
Okay. Don't break anything.